people, the early settlers who started living in Auroville, the first work of Auroville before anything began was to heal the earth, to make it green, to plant trees. So that's where it began. And when Auroville started, there was for anything to exist, you need fundamental tools like energy. And at that time of India, it was situated in a very backward rural setup with very deficient or no electricity coming from the grid. People had to rely on diesel for pumping water. So this is and live on firewood for cooking. So the first early projects were to answer the needs of pumping water, and it was not the solar but wind pumps. That's how the first pumping needs of Auroville were addressed using renewable energy. Then growing further, that went into developing biogas-based system for cooking, for providing cooking energy. And then the next stage which came was that one needed basic electricity for homes to run lights and small gadgets. And that's where first time the solar came in Auroville, which was in early 80s. And before, in the early mid-70s, was the wind pumps and biogas systems. Sustainability is a fairly new word and more of a buzzword now. To live in harmony is one of the fundamentals of Auroville, and to live in harmony with nature is another basic point of existence of Auroville. So from there it's born is that if we have to live in harmony, then we have to find solutions which project that harmony, and the different elements of sustainability are making us reach towards that goal of living a more integral and harmonious life. Slowly, as the solar panels came part of the baggage of people coming from West, bringing small solar panels along to run few lights, that grew up slowly into finding local solar panels. They were sort of second-hand available out of government projects. Then came the next stage where more and more demand started coming in. So it moved to solar water pumping systems, again for starting with the lighting needs, and then moving over to needs for pumping water. So water and energy is a very good, let's say, a siblings relationship. So that's so combining renewable energy with pumping water. This is how the Auroville's journey in renewable energy and then later solar energy started. We had a policy that the green belt in Auroville will remain off-grid, means they will not get connected to grid. So which meant that there is anything which would develop in green belt had to have renewable energy. So that became a kind of a policy, first an unset policy. There was no centralization in those times. People agreed that we will maintain green belt fully off-grid. So that created a market within. So the units started coming in. So the first unit, Altex, which started making electronics, solar electronics. Orica started manufacturing wind pumps. CSR was doing manufacturing biogas systems. So once this production and research started coming, they started spreading outside Auroville. that people from outside Auroville started approaching that, okay, we also want this and we want. So that's how the Auroville's footprint started expanding outside Auroville. Active element where you generate energy either through solar, wind, biogas, whatever renewable means is to generate electricity. That is to take care of the active aspects of energy, of running the fans, lights, air conditioners, refrigerators, motors, pumps, whatever. This is an active part of energy. If you take cement and steel, if these two were countries, they would be the third most polluting country in the world. Because both cement and steel need huge amount of energy as an input to turn from limestone to cement or from iron ore to steel. Now, this what we call it embedded energy, which we don't see. Same happens with the bricks. They have to be cooked or baked. One large part of Auroville's work was to reduce that footprint. How we can build buildings with less cement, less steel, more natural buildings using earth, stabilize and not taking the bricks through a baking process. So that has been, the building technologies has been a very big work of Auroville, and Auroville is known a lot for those experiments in India also, and along with the renewable energy. In fact, Auroville is more known for building technologies than renewable energy. So combine that with the active energy, that makes the two wings of the bird to fly. On the third front of food and to grow food, again you need energy and water. So how that can be reduced using renewable energy and using efficient means to use water in the crops. So that's another big aspect of farms, which is very quiet, silently happens. No fanfare to farmers anywhere in the world. So is in Auroville. The food which is grown has a very low energy footprint. The fourth aspect is the air aspect of sustainability. To create an environment which is with vegetation and landscaping and creating natural ventilation in building is something which addresses the air element to bring comfort. So the whole exercises of greening the area at a landscape level, to do the water management on the land, and to develop architecture which is environmentally goes hand in hand with the surrounding. So that takes care of the air element of the sustainability. These are the four elements which bring the sustainability together, or harmony together of living. One big challenge in this case was the budget or the cost of the systems. They were exuberantly expensive, and that was one of the reasons why it was not taking off. But since it became a priority for people that no, whatever the cost we pay and we get it. So the first challenge was to reduce the costs. Now, we didn't have a scale of production in such a way that we could reduce it through production costs reduction by improving the scale. But what we started kind of innovating was on whatever the financial incentives which were available, either through government or through taxation or through any other means. We started kind of packaging them together to bring their costs down. So one of the big challenge of the affordability was done by through bringing together different financial mechanisms which were scatteredly available, but then aggregating them together in one place and then offering to people at a much more reasonable cost. Other aspect of it was maintenance of these systems, since they are installed in location, and it's not that you install, shut it, forget it kind of a thing. They do need maintenance time to time. To set up a maintenance system within Auroville, to set up a solar service which would go to home or farm to farm to check regularly the solar systems, from Oreca to go to farm, forest to forest, to check the wind pumps are working or are kept working. That was setting up of the service system, which was an important link for building confidence that these systems are not only just installed and then first time it breaks down, then they are broken down for life. Continuity of working, continuity of serviceability, that build confidence in people that yes, we can trust this and then we can go for it. One of the challenges was policies, that if we have to go at a much bigger scale, then we have to have more conducive policies. So that's a continuous work which we do with the government to suggest better policies, so that it's not only Auroville benefits, the whole country benefits. Our aim was to provide 100% of its energy through renewable sources. Through installation of large wind turbines further up, further down in south of India, Auroville has been able to achieve not only what we are 100% for our consumption, but be what is called the net positive. We are able to generate more green energy than what we consume. And it's not only solar, it's because of these big wind turbines down south, which Auroville has installed. It's largely they contribute to it, and then to a large extent solar contributes. What currently the challenge is that how we can develop the energy systems in such a way that the 24/7 energy is generated within Auroville and is stored. So storage of this energy is a big challenge technically. That how do we store this energy that we can use in the evening or the hours which there is no sun. So how we can completely free ourselves from the grid, and how we can make some kind of an interconnected grid within Auroville. So this is the next challenge as the complexity of our systems is growing. By bringing these technologies to a rural area and enabling people in dealing with them has provided a certain amount of dignity and work and occupation. And the pride which people feel in doing that and a satisfaction, that's a very big change which has impacted a lot of people who come from surrounding villages around us. And it's not only with solar, with other works also or renewable energy, it's with nearly everything else in Auroville also. The second element is that when we go out and bring change to a community or to an organization, so if we are bringing a solar water pumping system to a village for drinking, and we have done it in tribal areas, and in one of the areas the tribal people treat the solar pump like a deity, because what it has provided them and changed their life from before, when they had to go kilometers to fetch water. This technology in a very remote area brings a huge change in the community life. Or if we go to a village and we install solar street lighting systems, and when you ask people what change came, is it we never had a street life in our lives before. Now we have a street life. So So when one goes out and really talks to people of what impact that little solar system brought to their life, the change is the impact is very high, or very, I would say, very satisfying. See, we have got a very interesting palette or a work to do here in Auroville to build a town, and the current development in the world and the future is towards urbanization. And here we have an opportunity to set an example. If we make roads which have the least impact, carbon impact, if we make the houses which have the least impact, if we grow our food, if we have forest in our city, this is building the future cities. And if we have developed, if we develop it in such a way that all the elements which a climate needs to be protected is being addressed to and is being kind of taken care of, then we're creating a template for others to kind of follow. I would, something which is very special about Auroville is that it's an experimental space in all aspects of life. And that applies to climate change, sustainability, renewable energy, all these elements too. And if we are able to safeguard that space, that we remain the lab to the world in every aspect of life, then we can create a huge impact in building a very harmonious environment for an urban environment locally, and create a template for the world, for India to develop towns and cities which one can live, breathe, drink water, and have a life which is in tune with nature.